In this research project, ESI was tasked to evaluate the suitability of LED lamps to be used as locomotive headlights and auxiliary lights, and how they apply to current regulations, federal regulations, that is. We had three main goals. The first goal was to evaluate the photometric characteristics of LED lamps and how they compare to existing technology, which is halogen lamps currently. The second goal was to evaluate visibility aspects of these lamps. We evaluate mainly two aspects, which were contrast discrimination and glare. The third goal was to evaluate environmental performance of the headlamps, more specifically in winter-like conditions. This big research project was divided into 4 different phases. So for the first phase, we worked with Intertech in one of their photometric labs. In this lab, they have a goniophotometer, which measures light in all different in various directions that you want to test. And we also work with a spectrophotometer to measure the color temperature of these lights, and we compare them to guidelines that the FRA gave us to make sure that they comply with those. The visibility portion of this research was divided into 2 different phases. What was phase 2 was focused on testing contrast discrimination and glare, and we did this under static conditions, meaning with a set of locomotives that was not moving, and we put different targets around to measure contrast and glare, that is. And so phase 3 was tested a lot of the same aspects, visibility aspects, glare, and contrast discrimination, but using a set of moving locomotives, that meaning the locomotive was in motion and several objects would appear along the train tracks, and human subjects would have to make judgments about those objects that they saw on the train tracks. The last phase of this project, phase 4, that was focused on testing the performance of these LED lamps on their winter-like conditions. And for this project, we worked with ACE, which is the Automotive Center for Excellence in Ontario Tech in Canada. This lab, the ACE lab, has a climatic wind tunnel that can produce low temperatures, high wind speeds, and in snow conditions, in which we tested these LED lamps and their performance with regards to being able to not build up so much ice or melt ice, and see how they would handle really cold temperatures. In short, the findings of this big research project show that LED lamps comply with FRA regulations, that they provide good contrast discrimination, and they perform well on their winter-like conditions. And most importantly, the cost benefit that LED lamps bring to the game. So if you would like more information, feel free to contact ESI. You can visit our website at engsys.com.